Are you thinking about adding edible plants to your landscape, but you don't want a full-blown food forest? These are my top 9 food forest plants that are suitable for an edible, ornamental landscape. Each one of these plants is edible and or medicinal, attractive, easy to grow, and easy to propagate. So let's get into it. Plant number 1 is hibiscus. This is my top choice. The rest are in no particular order. Hibiscus is a plant that you probably already have in your landscape. Hibiscus has beautiful flowers. There are literally hundreds, if not thousands, of different varieties. Annuals, perennials. Hibiscus will add color, attract pollinators. Hibiscus is easy to propagate with seed. The 3 varieties that I have readily self-seed. Not only is hibiscus edible, it's also medicinal. It's great for high blood pressure, insulin resistance. It's just a great all-around edible and medicinal plant. I have 3 varieties of hibiscus that I grow. Cranberry hibiscus with its purple leaves is a great contrast to all the greenery. Cranberry hibiscus has beautiful pink flowers and has gorgeous burgundy calyxes. You can eat the leaves, calyxes, and flowers raw in salads, or you can make tea from any of them. My next top choice of hibiscus is Roselle Hibiscus. It makes gorgeous small white flowers, relatively small compared to other hibiscuses. It has greenish leaves with burgundy tint. It has very large reddish burgundy calyxes that are typically used in tea. You can also make jam. And of course the flower and leaf are also edible. The 3rd variety of hibiscus that I grow is ruby hibiscus. It makes a large purple flower, has green leaves. I use the flower to make tea, and I also use that tea to make hibiscus kombucha. Plant number 2 is Okinawan spinach. It's a gorgeous dark green and it has burgundy tints to it. It's very nutritious, even medicinal. It has these orange flowers that are also edible. Generally, you eat the leaves raw in a salad. It has these gorgeous leaves that are purple and dark green. It'll be a great contrast to the typical greenery. It grows well in hot environments, does okay in sun, and decent in almost full shade. It's very easy to propagate. You literally make a cutting and stick it in the ground. In the rainy season, Okinawan spinach will grow a couple feet tall. It tends to bunch together. It's a very attractive plant. Plant number 3 is Longevity Spinach. It's a cousin to the Okinawan spinach. Spreads a little faster. It's a little bit easier to propagate. It's highly nutritious and medicinal. It makes a great ground cover. It has bright green leaves that really pop in the landscape. It grows great in the rainy season here in Florida 9B. It gets a little bit thin in the wintertime. It's a perennial. It does grow all year, but it's much slower in the wintertime. Plant number 4 is Katuk. It grows 6 to 8 feet tall. It's extremely easy to propagate. This is another plant where you take a cutting and stick it in the ground and it grows, especially in the rainy season. The leaves and the berries are edible. Actually, the flowers are edible too, but they're very tiny. Katuk is highly nutritious and it even contains protein. There aren't very many plants that actually have protein. Katuk is one of them. Katuk is highly medicinal. It's great for high blood pressure. I personally use this plant to keep myself off of blood pressure medication. You can see this specimen is still growing. It's almost January, Florida 9B. I'll show you what the berries look like. These are some of the berries. They taste a little bit like a peanut. As they get older, they have seeds in them. The seeds are fairly small when the berries are young, but you can still eat the seeds too. Number 5, African potato mint. This plant makes a great summer ground cover. It comes up when the temperature gets warmer, June timeframe. It spreads fairly easily. This is yet another plant where you just make a cutting and stick it in the ground and it grows. It does die back, as you can see here. It's almost January. This little patch is ready to be harvested. It makes tubers under the ground. You eat the tubers just like you would a potato. You can actually see a couple of the potatoes. Plant number 6. I'm going to group ginger and turmeric together. Plants look very similar. They're related. Both plants create a medicinal and edible tuber, and they both create gorgeous flowers. They typically like some shade. They both have gorgeous foliage. They create gorgeous flowers. They make edible and medicinal tubers that you can harvest, and they're easy to propagate with the tubers. Plant number 7 is Monstera Deliciosa. This is a well-known house plant. It creates these large leaves. It's very tropical looking. You can grow this outside in warmer climates. It likes to have shade and a decent amount of rain. A lot of people don't know that Monstera Deliciosa actually will create a fruit. Kind of looks like a dinosaur banana with scales. The fruit has a pineapple banana taste. It's a gorgeous plant. It can be a centerpiece specimen underneath a tree. Plant number 8 is elephant ear, specifically the Colocasia varieties. Alocasia is not edible. Colocasia is edible. The tubers that grow under the ground are edible. There are hundreds of varieties of Colocasia, different sizes, different colors. It's another specimen plant. It does best in at least partial shade, and it does like water. You can grow this in a bog or pond environment. It doesn't have to be a bog or pond environment, but it will do good in that environment. Plant number 9 is Butterfly Pea. It makes these beautiful blue flowers. This is almost January, and it's just now starting to die out. It does really good in warm, hot climates. The bean pods are edible and palatable when they're young. You can use the flowers to make tea. Flowers can be used as natural food coloring. The flowers make a blue tea. You can change the color to purple by adding an acidic ingredient like lemon juice. You can also change the color to green by adding an alkaline ingredient. I prefer saffron because it has a natural yellow color and it makes the green even brighter. The bonus plant, Perennial peanut. It's not necessarily edible. The tiny yellow flower that blooms in the summer is edible, but they're so tiny, you're not going to get much of a meal out of there. This plant is a great ground cover. It adds fertility to the soil. It's a nitrogen fixer. And down south, this can actually be a lawn replacement. It's a great plant.